And good evening, good evening, good evening. 7 o'clock on the dot. There we go. Welcome to everyone. Please gonna ask you, put your cameras on, and in the chat box, let me know where are you dialing in from. Please welcome yourself. Let me know you can see me, you can hear me, and see my slides. And where are you dialing in from? I see Gloria, you're trying to get that camera on. Awesome. It's not coming on yet. Thank you, Vaughn. Yay, 2 nights in a row. Excellent. Nice to see you, Vaughn. Hi, Gloria. Wonderful. I always love connecting with people. So seeing you makes it glorious chatting to people as well. So in the chat box, let me know where are you dialing in from and what beverage are you currently drinking? So we got Gwen from Zanin. Hi. Dino from, is it Dino from Pretoria? Hello. I'm actually up there on Friday. Gloria from Pretoria. We got Portia dialing in from Nelspruit. Vosluris from Gauteng. Wonderful. Leondale. Germiston. Hi, Catherine. Nora dialing in from Boksburg. Kanono. Hi, Kanono. We've got Shamia, Mia. There we go, Shams. Getting it. Lovely to see you online as well. Welcome to everyone. Please go ahead. Let me know where are you dialing in from. Kanona from Valcom. Sonia dialing in from Vandervale Park. Lots of people are still joining right now, which is fabulous. Drinking some tea, Sasonke. Love that. I actually also made myself a nice hot cup of tea and didn't even realize the time. It just flies by when you're having fun. Lon Klakla from Boksburg. Hello. Awesome. Fabulous. So grateful you're all here. I'm going to give it a few minutes. I see the waiting room door has opened. People are piling in. I had 219 people register for this evening. So firstly, I want to say well done to everyone that has arrived this evening. Well done for showing up and being here. Very excited. Hi, Jill. Nice to see some familiar faces. Awesome. Wonderful. And nice to see quite a few of you that I know. Luanda from Cape Town. Fabulous. So please go ahead in the chat box. Let me know where you're dialing in from. I see and recognize quite a few names as well of people that have emailed and answered some of my questionnaires. Very excited to have you online today. So I would love to hear where you're dialing in from. And also, while we are waiting for a few more people, Tina from PE, hello. Are you currently in a leadership position? So let me know a little bit about what do you do. Are you currently in a leadership role, or what industry are you in? This is for managers' most common mistakes. Quite often, I have a lot of people who attend this who aren't in a management position yet, but they would like to get there. It's a great space to be. So what industry are you in? Please go ahead, let me know. What industry are you in? And let's just get everybody settled in, get their tea nice and warm. All right, network marketing. Thank you, Jill. Let me know. What industry are you in? And please feel free to put your cameras on as well. Sonia. Hi, Sonia. Maintenance manager for a private school. Thank you. Portia with the ICT industry. Awesome. Security. I'm in a leadership position, short-term insurance. Thank you. I'm actually working with quite a few people at the moment in short-term insurance. I'm in education, HR management, biopharmaceuticals, medical bureau. All right. Thank you, Catherine. Wonderful. General manager of a hotel and, whoops, that went so fast. Tourism, hospitality industry. Wonderful, Sasanke. Vaughn, Jill, Vaughn says hi. Internet provider, HR manager. Fantastic. When leadership position, research organization. Excellent. Fantastic. I am so excited you are here. I am going to ask you for the next, I say 90 minutes, just to time block that time, just also that we have time for Q&A. Close your cell phones, or just, turn them upside down, close those email browsers, because even if you give me 100% attention, you're only going to hear 40% of what I say. So give yourself the gift in the next 90 minutes to walk away with something new. And I'm going to just ask you to do that for yourself. Give yourself the gift. I'm excited that you are here. Thank you so much. I love people with growth mindsets who are always looking for how they can grow and be better. All right, Tabiso's in security and protection. Brilliant. Luhanda, education at SMT. Fabulous. So I want to welcome you all. Tonight's masterclass is managers' most common mistakes. And sharing that with you is that most of these mistakes I share are the mistakes I learned over my last 31 years journey in a leadership role. So buckle up, let's have some fun. I would like this to be interactive. So please keep those fingers on the keyboard, keep those fingers nice and warm, wrap them around a hot cup of tea. So if I ask questions to interact as well, the more you put in, the more you will get out. So let me ask you, how many of you feel like you live the perfect balanced life? That while you are at work, you can achieve all those goals. So when you get home, you can have quality time with your family, your friends, even yourself. Days off on the golf course, or pampered days at the spa. What about long, lazy lunches on a wine farm on a beautiful summer's day, or dinner dates with your partner? Have you thought about that trip to the Maldives? I mean, doesn't that just sound like the perfect life? Or is it just a dream? I'm currently coaching over 100 people weekly through some of my courses, but have trained thousands of people. And one thing I hear consistently is, Nikki, we need more time. We need more balance. How many of you feel the same? Now, self-disclosure, my name's Nikki Abraham. I haven't yet mastered balance. But the tools that I have learned are tools that I utilize every single day in my work, my life, with my family, to help me stay on track or get back on track. Because think about it. Can balance be mastered? Think about somebody walking across a tightrope between two high-rise buildings. When is balance the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? Let me know in the chat box. When do you feel balance is the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? Let's see if you can type as fast as Zoom feeds it out. Thank you. So we have Gloria saying the beginning. The middle. Thank you, Catherine. Okay, middle, beginning. Okay, so quite a lot of answers coming through in the middle, beginning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What about every step of the way? If you're walking across tightrope, every step counts. And this is the importance when we're focusing on balance, that every step of the way. So this is for you this evening. If you could do with some more work-life balance. This is also for you if you don't know how to recruit the perfect team member. This is also for you if you know how to manage your team, but not necessarily lead your team. And yes, there's a difference. This is also for you if you want to delegate, maybe know how to delegate, but don't always get the desired result. And this is also for you if you want to learn effective communication for each team member. So let me know which one resonated the most for you. You can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Would you like A, more work-life balance? B, learning how speaking to people? C, how to manage your team and lead your team? D, learning the art of delegation? Or E, just having effective communication? In fact, they say the difference between a manager and a leader is all about effective communication. Let me know in the chat box which one resonates the most for you. A, B, C, D, or E. Got quite a few coming through there. Fabulous. Got some A's, some C's, some E's, some E's, some E's, E's, A and E. Fabulous. All of them. E. Fantastic. Sorry, B was recruitment. I completely lost my train of thought there. B was recruitment, making sure you've got the right people in place. So are you currently in a leadership position? Just let me know, yes or no. Are you currently in a leadership position? Yes or no? Okay, lots of yeses coming through. And again, if you're not in a leadership position yet, that is also okay. I have worked with lots of people who want to grow into a leadership position. My next question I want to ask you is, have you studied for this position or were you internally promoted? And if you were internally promoted, just write IP. If maybe you've done both, go ahead and let me know. Okay, internally, studied, internally. Okay, both, internally, fabulous. And this is often what we pick up specifically in South Africa. South Africa, a lot of people have been internally promoted. We do a lot of team development. We like to recruit from within. We like to train from within and grow people into leadership roles. You know, you're a shining star. Somebody saw that potential in you. However, overseas in America, they will not put you in a management position without a management degree. So I love that South Africa does a lot of team development, but often we get internally promoted, but we're not always given the right tools or trained that way too. So, I mean, it's not your fault if you were internally promoted or studied, but you got identified into a management role because you're a shining star. Somebody saw this leadership potential in you and thought, you can do this, and you got promoted, but yet you're struggling. It's also not your fault. If you feel like sometimes you're just constantly putting out fires, sometimes the fires we've created. It's also not your fault that often you just get inherited groups of teams of people coming to work with you. You don't have a say in the recruitment policy, or if you are allowed to recruit, you don't know or understand which personality is going to suit you the best. It's not your fault that you haven't learned personality profiling, of how you can understand your personality to communicate to your team, which will help you lead your team through effective communication. And it's not your fault that you haven't learned the 6-step process of delegation. Most of us just follow 3 steps, and we cannot understand why we don't always get the results we desire. And not your fault that we haven't all learned the effective communication of how to be a leader. And more importantly, I want to say, this ends in the next 90 minutes. I would like to wave my magic wand, share some tools with you that at the end of this evening, you're going to walk away with some insights that you can put into action straight away. So I get this. I mean, my name's Nikki Abraham. I am a public speaker strategist, TEDx Cape Town speaker coach, and a leadership extraordinaire. But my journey started at the young age of 15 when I started waitressing in restaurants. At the age of 18, a couple things happened. One of them was I had a premonition I wasn't going to live very long. And I decided to start saying yes to life. Like, if today is my last day, let me just do it. Well, at the age of 18 as well, I was offered an assistant management job at this restaurant that I'd been working in since 15. Of course, I said yes. A few months later, I was offered the opportunity to hop on a boat and go sailing. I did that for 3 years, sailed across the Atlantic twice before I landed up in the Caribbean. And at the age of 22, became a manager of a small Italian restaurant. What I didn't understand was how to lead a team. At the age of 22, my boss, a dictatorial, aggressive leader. I mean, his tantrums were Oscar worthy. When I'd worked for him for 3 months, I was the longest manager that had survived. And I stayed there for 3.5 years. But I decided after 3.5 years, I'd grown to a general manager. I needed a new challenge. So I got a job at Keeto's Gazebo across the bay. Actually, Bob Marley used to play soccer on this beach. And this is where I went to go work for another 4 years. I gained fantastic experience of working with international staff members and with clients, and loved my journey here. 2004, one of my dreams came true when I had my Caribbean souvenir, which was my son. And I decided to return back to South Africa with my souvenir on my hip instead of a t-shirt. My first interview was then with the Woolworths coffee shops. And starting as a coffee shop manager, starting with the business, then we only had 32 restaurants. When I left 14 years later, 150 restaurants. When we started, staff complement of 452. When I left, over 2,500. Every time there was an opportunity to open up a new restaurant, I said yes. Promotion, I said yes. New position, I said yes. And I went from a manager to opening new restaurants to a training manager in 2005, where my passion for training was born. And as the business started to grow, so did we. But I grew to be quite tired. And working longer hours, traveling, hospitality, you all know retail hours, and those of you in hospitality, I was like, something needs to change. And this was one of my favorite quotes, the 3 C's of life: choices, chances, changes. You must make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. Because I just felt like I was on this hamster wheel going around and around and around. And I decided, I went to my boss and I said, with my 10 years international experience now, it must be easier. There must be different things I can do to learn to become a better manager. And he agreed to send me on as many courses as I chose to go on, as long as I came back, wrote training manuals, and trained the team. During my 14 years working with Woolworths, I wrote 5 of our training manuals. And these are the tools that I started sharing as our company grew. I then became the National Customer Service Head. I oversaw 8 regional managers. We had over 300 managers and 2,500 staff. I was head of leadership training and head of recruitment. Absolutely loved this role. But after 29 years in hospitality, I was like, I can't do this for another 29 years. What's next? I also wanted to broaden my horizons of working with different industries. So 2019, I got asked to join a company called Keller Williams, which is a real estate company, and having always been passionate about houses, I got a role as a team leader, which consisted of training and recruitment, something I was very comfortable with doing. And this is when I learned for the first time, working with 15 agents, that I grew to 50 agents. that the language of leadership was universal. And I was like, I can actually do this for other industries as well. Well, I had 16 months at Keller Williams before COVID struck. And 2 days before we went into lockdown, our entire leadership team got retrenched. So that was me. Yes, let me start my own company. And that's what I did in 2020. The Winning Attitude Skills Training was born. I started launching, specifically focusing on my leadership course of my powerful leadership transformation, taking all my national and international experience. And then I started branching out from hospitality and into real estate, and have since, in the last few years, over the last 5 years, trained thousands of people, from CEOs of companies to NGOs to NPOs to accountants to IT to real estate to Mallorca. It's now an international course. I've trained managers in the Caribbean, Canada, and around the world. Very excitingly. When I returned back to South Africa with my beautiful Caribbean souvenir, who's at the bottom, I then met my lovely single hubby or single dad. We become a gorgeous blended family, and life is fabulous. But since then, I also wanted to continue growing. 2021, I decided I needed to learn more, and I signed up to 10 different courses. With a complete growth mindset, I still focus on learning every single day. But it was in January 2021 that somebody on Facebook said, whose life has pivoted due to COVID? And I was like, well, I have. And he said, are you a keynote speaker? And I was like, let me just, I think I know there was, yes, Google keynote speaker. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So I said yes. And I got 2 bookings. And I thought, I better learn how. So I signed up for 2 courses, one locally, one internationally. I was then very blessed to become a co-coach for the South African course. Before 2 years later, working alongside this gentleman and learning so much, I then decided to launch my own course. I since also have become a Cape Town TEDx speaker coach. I have now spoken on stages, speaking up to 5,000 people nationally and internationally. And with my own course, I have had over 50 graduates go through in the last year. So I am someone that constantly loves to say yes, constantly makes mistakes, because I love diving straight in. So when I share mistakes, they're generally my mistakes that I have. But I want to welcome you this evening. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for being at Managers' Most Common Mistakes Masterclass. I do want to share with you, though, like I said, 219 people registered for this evening. So only 34 people in the room. I am so grateful for you. But one of the things I would love to do at the end of this evening session is send you all an email with a couple of info, like a few things with information, but also a little workbook of what I am covering this evening. So can I ask you kindly in the chat box, drop your email address, because for me to go and find, I know I've got a couple of friends that have signed up. Vaughan, I've got you, don't need to worry. But I've got 3 Tinas that signed up. I had 2 Glorias that signed up. iPhone, not sure how many. I just want to make sure that I can tag you as you to send you the email straight after this evening session to say thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're uncomfortable dropping it in the chat box, you're also welcome to send it to me privately. Thank you so much. But unfortunately, sometimes if you've logged in as an iPhone or a Zoom user, I cannot find you, I cannot tag you or send you that gift. So I'm going to keep going. Please go ahead, drop your email in the chat box. But I am transparent, pretty much who I am. There's an elephant in this room. I shared with you I've got 31 years experience in leadership. I cannot share that with you in 90 minutes. So only with your permission, when we're ready, I would love to share more information with you about my powerful leadership transformation course. For those of you that have never worked with me before, or the first time that you're here, thank you so much. If you want to know a little bit more about me, please go ahead. Just go into Google, type in the Winning Attitude Skills Training or Nikki Abraham and go and see what other people have said about me. Currently, I've got 118 reviews. 2 of them 4-star, the rest 5-star. So thank you to my clients. But this is what my clients have experienced from working with me. Also, you're welcome to go on my Winning Attitude page as well. There's 25 reviews right there. So are you ready? Let me know in the chat box. Are you ready? All right. Let me know that you're ready. Let's go. Yes, yes, yes. Of course I am. Fabulous. Loving the energy. Awesome. Yes, yes, and yes. Fantastic. So we're going to dive straight in. What is the difference between a manager and a leader? Because so often people say to me, it's exactly the same thing. Well, a manager is somebody who stands in front of their team, gives them a direct instruction, and when they walk away and nothing happens, you're actually just a manager taking a walk. The difference between a manager and a leader is the leader has the ability to influence their team to achieve a common goal. And that is what a leader is. The ability to influence their team to achieve a common goal. So when we think about that, how do we get there? I mean, most managers, a lot of you said internally promoted, as I was years and years and years. A lot of us step into this role with little or zero training. And what we don't know often ends up costing us time, energy, trust, and sometimes our good staff. And today's session, I'm really going to share some of these challenges with you. They're real challenges, but most importantly, they are not permanent. So it all starts here, focusing on your mindset. Anybody that steps in a leadership role, it is a privilege. I always say, working with leaders, it is a privilege to be able to empower people with your knowledge. It is a privilege to be able to lead your team. And for us, we need to carry ourselves in that way, which means focusing on a positive mindset every single day. Top achievers work on their mindset for their first waking hour every single day, be it meditation, visualization, gratitude journal, reading, exercise, because it is so important for you to be clear and focused, because your experience, your mindset is an inside to an outside experience. And the way you feel on the inside is how you're going to express it on the outside. If you're having a meh day and go to work and take it out on your team, it just trickles down to the rest of your team and to clients as well. So leaders need to focus on their mindset every single day. But the biggest mistake we make as managers, this is my manager's #1 most common mistake, poor hiring decisions. Now, a lot of people may be in this room and go, but that's out of my control. So that is my first question. Are you responsible for recruitment? Yes or no? Just let me know in the chat box. Are you responsible for recruitment? Yes or no? All right. Hannah says yes. Sasonke, yes. Portia, yes, yes, yes. Fabulous. Jill says yes. Lots of yeses coming through. Quite a few no's coming through as well. And if your answer is no, are you part of the recruitment process, or do you have a say in the recruitment process? Because often when we think about recruitment, as a leader, if you're leading a team, sometimes somebody else is completely recruiting the person for your team and doesn't necessarily understand the personality needed, the position required, how they're going to complement each other in your team and yourself. So I'm going to highly encourage you that if you're not part of the recruitment process, that you at least put your hand up and say, may I be part of the decision-making and attend one of the interviews? Because if you need to lead a team member, you want to be part of that process. And secondly, you'd want to understand the recruitment process. That is even more important. Often I find, and I mean, for many, many, many years, I just inherited teams and had to go lead teams as well. But when I started at Woolworths, I was heading up recruitment. And without knowing a lot about recruitment, I often hired people exactly like me. Bubbly, positive, fun, but not always strategic or sensitive or trying to get different personalities to complement each other, which is incredibly important. So when I think about recruitment, I actually have a course called Recruiting Talent. But the important things of following a recruitment process is also knowing where to source your applicants. Because if you're looking for talent, talent is also looking for you. So where are you finding your talent? How often somebody puts an ad on Facebook or social media, or, just in the local newspaper, or puts it out on a WhatsApp group. Where is your talent hanging out? And then secondly, how do you word your advertisements to attract the right person, the right personality for that job required? Because your talent is looking for that. It's how do you word your advertisements to attract the right personality? Then how do we go ahead and screen CVs? I actually share so many different CVs. I think over my 14 years recruiting specifically at Woolies, how many weirdo CVs I picked up and little things I can look for now as well. To the pre-interview process, to the interview process, how do we close the interview and reference checks? There's a whole process. This is actually a 6-hour course alone. A whole process on recruitment. But if we're not bringing in the right person, or if we're not changing our recruitment, what is the cost of doing nothing? So what is the cost of keeping the wrong person in the wrong role? Think about somebody who is messing up. Let's just say 16 hours on average per month that you need to fix poor performance. Average salary, 20,000 Rand per month, plus your loss in time, loss in turnover, loss in errors. And if you're spending 4 hours per week fixing your team members' mistakes, that's over 208 hours per year. 50,000 Rand in wasted time. Think about that. And what is the cost of leading without clarity and confidence? Loss of productivity and profitability. If you just keep doing the same thing, nothing is going to change. And it's not just your time, it's your energy. Think about the energy of fixing things and retraining because you don't have the right person. It brings down the whole team's morale. But most importantly, you've worked so hard to get in this role. How do you stay in love with the role you worked so hard to earn? It is so important in your business that you have minimum standards. And often what happens, I actually had quite a few people in the email that I asked you to share some of your challenges. How many people said to me, we're struggling with minimum standards. We were struggling with performance management. Now, I just want to put this out there. How often when we need to hire, it's a quick hire because people resign with a month's notice, 2 weeks notice, 1 week's notice, immediate effect. And you're like, oh my gosh, I need a staff member. And I quickly place an ad, 5 people come in for an interview, and here's my minimum standard. The 5 people that came in were here. So instead of going, don't like this 5, let me start again. I am desperate. So what do? We choose the best of the 5, not the right person for the role. Now it can take us 6 months training this person to just meet our minimum standard. Let's work on an average 10,000 Rand salary. That cost us 60,000 Rand, and they're only now meeting our minimum standard. For them, they've had 100% growth. For you, that's all you getting. Nothing more. It's so important to have your minimum standards, plus using as a job description, I like to call it a job responsibility agreement, that you meet your minimum standards, you clear, and rather don't hire a square peg and stick them in a round hole. So how would you be able to improve your leadership skills if you were leading the right team? I'll never forget the restaurant I was running, the second restaurant I was running at Caribbean. I actually said to my boss, you know, running a restaurant is so easy, but the staff. And that's exactly what he said. Running a business is easy. Managing the team is why we have leaders to do the role. It's all in leadership. Let's look at managers' most common mistakes. Number 2, leading your team irrespective of their personalities. Now, how often do you start working with different people and you're like, wow, this person just irritates me, and this person's dominating me, and this person's not doing their job or achieving their goals? Very rarely do leaders get trained on understanding personalities. In fact, my DISC profile, I offer in every single course I train to get a different result. In recruiting talent, how to identify the right personality for the right role. In leadership, how to identify the right personality for the right role that's going to complement your team and the way you effectively communicate to them to get your desired result. So every single course, the DISC profile for me is incredible. But I want to give you a little bit more information about DISC. There's multiple personality profilings out there. For me, this is one of the simplest to understand. Some people talk about colors, some people talk about birds, but ultimately there's 4 quadrants. Every one of us appear in all 4, but we're mostly dominant in 1 or 2. And each of them have your natural strengths and weaknesses. So this alone is a 2-hour session. Plus, I go very deep and very passionate. So I have to be conscious of the time. But somebody that's very dominant or formal falls under the D in the top left-hand side. Their personalities are called direct. Very much about task-orientated. Challenge people. They are bottom line. They want to get results. They can come across quite fast and aggressive because they need to get things done. Often you find them as a CEO, a manager, a leader. They like to be in charge and in the loop with everything happening in the business. Then we have the top right-hand side, the dominant, informal, I for influential. This is the yellow personality. Otherwise, very positive, very motivation, full of joy. They like to be the life of the party, the star of the office. They can, though, be quite dramatic and often can spit things out quickly for them. Other people take more time to process, and then they kind of just move on. They have serious FOMO. So often can jump from task to task too fast because they don't want to miss out. Bottom right-hand corner, the informal, easygoing S for steady, otherwise known as the green personality. These are peacemakers or peacekeepers, gentle souls. They love to be able to help everyone else. So often they lack hitting their own goals because they're so busy helping everyone else to achieve their goals. And then we have the bottom left-hand corner, easygoing, formal, C for compliant. This personality, the blue personality, loves data. They come across quite serious, sometimes aloof. They want all the information, all the facts before they'll make a decision. And they don't really like to discuss much of their personal life. Great as accountants, working with financials, spreadsheets, data capturing as well. So right here, we have 4 different personalities. Let me know in the chat box which one resonates the most with you. So think about this, right? And which one resonates the most with you? D, I, S, or C? Now, often we can think about, if depending what your personality is, I know in an operational position, I'm a very high D. In a training room, high I. But as a high D, if I go to someone and go sweep the floor, a high D will go, no problem, I'll sweep the floor. Go to a high I, go sweep the floor, and they'll go, did your mother not teach you please or thank you? That's not the way you talk to us. You say to a steady, go sweep the floor. They'll go sweep the floor, but they'll be a little offended because of my tone. And to a compliant, go sweep the floor. Which floor would you like me to sweep? Do you want me to sweep from the front to the back or the left to the right? Should I use the red broom or the green broom? And how much time do I have? Right now, who's actually doing the job? So what we need to learn is firstly, our personality, who we are naturally. Then we need to understand our team's personality and how do we adapt our personality to their personality to get the right outcome. This session alone is profound for working with your team. It's brilliant for your customers and clients. Excellent to do if you're not married yet when you meet your perfect one. Also to make sure it's great for your kids, for sales, absolutely everyone. Like I said, I get very passionate about this session. Thank you all for sharing who you feel you are, or you may have done this personality profiling already. But can you see understanding personalities? I actually go so deep that at the end of the 2-hour session, you understand yourself, you understand your partner, you get to understand your team, but how you interact with each person to get the results you desire. But the more you start working with this, the more I can read people right here on Zoom, looking at Vaughan and Catherine and who else has cameras on, Jill, the 3 people with cameras on. And I can tell you my opinion of their personalities from what they're wearing, from their body language, and from the interaction if they're interacting. And often that is what you can do once you start understanding personalities. Even those the cameras aren't on, just the way you write in the chat box, I could tell you my opinion of your personality. So if you look at this picture right here, they've all seen the same goal, but their reactions are all a little bit different. So right here, I can tell you who's the D's, who's the I's, who's the S's, who's the C's. It is such an incredible tool to use, to learn, and help you on your leadership journey. So how would you be able to improve your leadership skills once you understand each of your team members' personalities so you can communicate clearer to get the best result? Just think about that. Mistake number 3 is how many of you would love more work, life, and balance? Let me know in the chat box. How many of you want more work, life, and balance? I think most of us. Well, I often use the 80-20% principle, and I'm sure lots of you have heard about the 80-20% principle, otherwise known as the Pareto principle. But the 80% principle is really focusing on what's important. How many of you have heard focus on the 20%, but yet we all focus on that 80%? I'm going to challenge you. Tomorrow when you're back at work, print out your job description or your job responsibility agreement, or what is it that you do, and highlight the 20% that you were hired for. Or if you're an entrepreneur, what is that 20%? That's a non-negotiable. That is what you're brilliant at doing and it's going to generate income. And that is what we need to focus on. Focusing on the 20% to give us 80% of the results. But most of us focus on what we love and what we're good at, and not always getting the results we desire. And in order to do this, it's being clear on what that 20% is. Being clear on what your focus needs to be. Because think about it at the end of the day. How often do you get home and you're like, I am so tired, but how productive were you? My previous director at Woolworths, he was fabulous. I used to often phone him every year and do a check-in. And if I said to him, wow, today was so busy, he used to say to me, what value did you add to my company today? And that was such a profound question, because I knew in order, if I phoned him or he was phoning me, my brain used to go, what value, what value? And throughout the day, what value am I adding to the company today? I've now been working for myself for over 5 years, and I still ask myself that question every single day. And that's because I am incredibly clear on my personal and my professional goals. I'm clear on them, my family is clear on them, my team is clear on them. And that is when you are so focused on that 20%, that's going to help you bring extraordinary results. And once you're clear on this, because so many of us have to-do lists that consist of everything we need to do, they're often really long and take us off track. And we feel like we just have to do it because it's on the list. Complete time waster. Yet, how often do you go tick something off that list? It's not there, so you quickly write it just so you can tick it off. I mean, I have been guilty of that. And who's actually even looking at that list but me? Once I learned this tool, focusing on my 20%, I've now called that the success list. Success lists are short. Every day I focus on 3 things. My 3 top 20 things. And once they've been achieved, I can focus on anything else. It helps me stay on track to be proactive. It helps me achieve extraordinary results. It helps me to get to the result I desire. Most importantly, it helps me to succeed. Using these simplified tools, focusing on what needs doing, and then specifically looking at, I use a tool taken from the book, The One Thing, called the 411, that I share with all my clients that I work with in this particular course. And we focus on 1 year, 1 month, 4 weeks. And we put our success list items in that 411. This was a tool I learned in 2019, and I've now been using it for 6 years, which helps me stay conscious of my goals. I then take this tool and I put my time block together. Time blocking is something that I am so clear about what I'm doing every minute of the day. And where am I being busy? Where am I being productive? My time block, and let me know in the chat box if you time blocked before. Time blocking helps you to achieve a goal. So I'm just being 100% transparent. This was my schedule last week. And what I do is my dark green is when I'm earning money. That is my money making activities. I'm getting paid. Light green, like a masterclass like this, is money making activities. Not getting paid for tonight, but I'm meeting new people. I'm helping you. I want to give value and potentially tell you about my new course. Well, not my new course, my current course. So it's money making activities. My light blue is when I'm working on my 411, when I'm focusing on my 80%, when I'm focusing on things for my business. And my orange is my personal time. So I look at my whole week and I go, okay, I've got some exercise, I've got my lessons there. I'm having Friday afternoon with my girlfriends. We call ourselves the Dazzles. So I've got quite a lot of balance there. That's pretty good for a week. I'm earning income, I'm focusing on my 20% and helping me focus towards my goals. So this quote taken from the book, The One Thing, is being profound. What's the one thing you can do such by doing it makes everything else easier or unnecessary? And that's where I can really come down and be streamlined and focused. I had a 2-hour gap between my last session and this session. And my husband said, come, let's quickly go out for dinner. And in that mind, my first thing was, sounds fantastic. But what's that one thing I need to do? I'm traveling tomorrow. I've got a full day of training. I still need to pack my suitcase and prep. And as soon as I was like, and I want to be here 30 minutes before I start. Because what if we go out and get stuck in traffic or something happens? What is that one thing? My one thing was being here calm 30 minutes before my masterclass. That's important to me. In the rest of the time, what needs doing and focusing exactly on that. So what could you focus on if you had more time? More weekends away, more date nights, days in the golf course, massages. What would your life look like then? The fourth of managers' most common mistakes is effective communication. And as I've been training my powerful leadership transformation for the last 20 years, since I've learned the art of speaking skills, my public speaking skills, I really believe I've brought a lot of that into the last 5 years of my course. Because like I said, the difference between a manager and a leader is exactly this: effective communication. Learning the skill to speak clearly and concisely will change your day-to-day conversations. If you're an entrepreneur, it makes a massive difference to your business. It will help you in your relationships with your colleagues, with your clients, with your family. It will give you confidence when you speak. It will help you in business, sales, negotiations, and most importantly, effective communication helps you in leadership. It will change your life. I was doing a training session this afternoon for a group of restaurant managers in Pittsburgh, and we did effective delegation. And it all comes down to communication, as does conflict resolution, as does leading, as does disc profile, as does goal setting, time mastery, and every other session, accountability. It all comes down to effective communication. So be it that you just want to get more comfortable speaking one-to-one with your team or speaking to many, this will help you. Recently, I had a lady, she runs a pharmacy with over 80 staff members. And she said, Nikki, I have never hosted a staff meeting because I'm just shy. And you know what? She told me the one day, I think it was after the second session, she said to me, Nikki, I hosted my first meeting and you've helped me fall in love with my voice. And that sentence is like, I love that. I'm stealing that from you, fall in love with your voice. But now she's hosting team meetings and she's confident. So be it that you want to gain confidence or potentially just slow down. I mean, I know when I get passionate, I kind of go on a spin cycle and I spit words out. And sometimes I'm talking circles, like the dishwasher going round, not dishwasher, washing machine going round and around and around. Stop and breathe. Choose your words to be clear and concise. Learning how to speak effectively is a game changer for a leader. So what could improve communication? What could improve communication help you lead your team? Think about that. So often looking at this, this course is not just going to teach you about leadership. It will shift the way your team sees you, hears you, and follows your lead. When we talk about effective communication in delegation, and effective communication in conflict management, and effective communication, so many of us, I'm going to give you one bonus tool here as well. When I talk about the 80-20% principle in time, I am going to give you a golden nugget right here. Use effective communication as the 80-20% principle as a leader, which means listen for 80% of the time, and only talk for 20%. Most leaders want to instruct, dictate, and tell people what to do. What about listening to hear and not respond? Start setting up one-to-one meetings with your team. Start listening to your team. What are their needs? How can you help them? And work towards that, because that's where you're going to, firstly, build respect with your team. And when your team respects you, they will follow your lead. So some other common mistakes. I mean, I'm just touching on this evening, but there's some other common mistakes. Not understanding how to set goals and the purpose of a goal. Not understanding the difference between performance management and consequence management. I know some of you said you really struggle with that. Because what do we do if somebody doesn't do their job? Well, every action has a reaction. How do we handle that? Not understanding how to apply accountability into your business, not communicating openly and building that trustworthy environment. The difference between the dictatorial manager and wanting to be liked, not understanding how to motivate their employees, not leading by example. So often, even managers will go, oh no, I lead by example. I'll be like, do you come to work on time every single day? Well, not always. Do you give 100% to work every day that you're at work? Sometimes. That's leading by example. And as much as we all like to think we're perfect, we all make mistakes. And even if you're doing really well in a department, what if you could learn one thing new that can help you improve? So what keeps managers stuck? Hiring under pressure, bringing the wrong person in just because we need to fill that gap, low performing teams that are draining your energy, overwhelmed because you don't know how to delegate, so you're doing it all yourself, leading without a clear system, you don't have the right processes in place. What about fear of confrontation? Don't want to handle conflicts, so I sweep it under the carpet. Or what if I fail? That is people's biggest fear. Fear of failure. I say fail and fail forward and learn every single time. Most managers are losing productivity, great team members, and time every single day, simply because they're stuck in the same habits. So I want to ask you, can you afford to lose 3 more months repeating the exact same mistakes? Just doing what you are doing. So right here, I want to ask you, are you willing to make a choice, take a chance, and learning new things to make that change? So with your permission, may I share more information about my powerful leadership transformation course with you? Please let me know. Yay, please let me know. May I share more information about my powerful leadership transformation? I see there's lots of messages. Thank you so much. Who said, please tell me my personality? Catherine, without your camera on, I'll have to go back. I haven't been reading all the comments as well. We'll have to go a little bit deeper there. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And again, some of you have come in late. I see some new people in the room as well. If you haven't yet dropped your email address, please do that as well. Thank you so much. So my name's Nikki Abraham, and I empower managers to become effective leaders so they can increase productivity and create an environment whereby their team want to perform to their full potential, which will increase your profit margins without working harder, only smarter. I love sharing simplified tools so that you can enjoy your days, and so can your team. So let me ask you, would 12 modules of clarity and structure help you feel in control? would it help simplify it for you? Because if you saw yourself in any of today's session, it's not a mistake, it's clarity. And clarity will lead to change. That is the most important. So before we carry on, I want to introduce you to Nadia. And Nadia actually won my course. In fact, I think she shares that. So let me keep quiet. Let me introduce you to Nadia. I'm just making sure my sound. So Tina, Jill, Vaughan, and Catherine, I can see you. Please let me know that you can hear.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and I won Nikki's Powerful Leadership Transformation course at a fundraiser. At the time when I started the course, I was not in a leadership position, but about 2 weeks in, I got retrenched from my previous position, and I was not sure where I was going next, and my self-confidence and belief in the work that I was doing, or my ability to do my work, was very low. Nikki's leadership course gave me the confidence, the skills and the tools to believe in myself, and the courses helped me to speak to people, has changed the way that I think about myself, and it has helped me to shatter the limiting beliefs that I have about myself. I feel a lot more confident, and now that I am almost finding myself in a leadership position, I am super excited to apply the tools that I have learned so that I may be as inspiring as Nikki to the people that I work with. Nikki, I'd like to thank you so much for the support and all of the value that you have added to my life.
So Nadia now actually is in a leadership role, working with the international digital marketing company and doing incredibly well. So this isn't a course that you go through alone. I often say, I spoke to one of you earlier, it's like, I become a coach in your pocket. I am so invested in your growth. But all you need to do is show up for the first module and you will want to keep going. So the Powerful Leadership Transformation, I call it my PLT 12. It's broken into 12 modules. And what this course covers, so from session 1, you get a 60-day habit challenge. You learn how to become an effective leader, what needs doing to be an effective leader, how do you transform your weaknesses as a manager into a strength of a leader. You will understand the 7 primary responsibilities of a manager, and then also identify 9 pieces of a management puzzle. So each of these sessions are 90 minutes, jam-packed of value, theory, plus there are also Q&As. You will also go through your big why. Session number 2, it starts with your mindset, your attitude, and how to learn how to choose your attitude to get the results you desire as a leader, understanding the purpose of a goal and the correct way to set goals to reach your full potential. Session number 3, we really go deep into time mastery using the Pareto principle, committing to the 80-20% principle, plus applying our the 4-1-1, how to time block and understand how to turn your to-do list into a success list, plus some time-saving strategies. Session number 4, we bring in the accountability process, and we will work on the accountability process every single week, because as a leader, you need to live by accountability to inspire accountability in your team. We continue on managers' most common mistakes and go a lot deeper on communication, building a trustworthy environment, plus the dictatorial, aggressive management style, which often we could be or work with, and how do we overcome that, as well as working with someone or potentially being criticism and negative discipline. We then continue with part 3, how to motivate employees. And I know somebody in the email said, I need to understand how to motivate employees. So I want to give you a little hashtag here. Always create an environment where team members want to come to work. That is your role, but you cannot motivate people to come to work. But you have to create an environment where they want to stay motivated. So for you, that's your nugget. Wanting to be liked as well. Session number 5, we continue with managers' most common mistakes, part 4. Poor hiring decisions, we go a lot deeper, not managing conflict, poor delegation, not leading by example. And in fact, conflict and delegation go into their own full modules because of the impact of putting in those procedures. Plus, we spend quite a lot of time about performance management versus consequence management. Session number 6, continuing the process of accountability process plus DISC training. So understanding different personalities, identify your personality, your team's personality, and how to adapt the best when to lead your team. Session number 7, art of delegation. What are the benefits of delegation? Essential criteria of delegation. How do we prevent reverse delegation? And that 6-step tool to delegate. Session number 8, how to handle conflict for a win-win. And this is the beauty of understanding personality profiling and how we adjust our personalities and how different personalities handle conflict. Dangers of ignored conflict, benefits of handling conflict, and the 4-step process to resolving conflict. Session number 9, part 1 is how to lead with a limitless life, and part 2, how to step into your purpose of your power. Session number 10, so management styles and powers, the difference between the autocratic and the participative manager, some effective attributes of a leader, and management powers. Number 2, how to master your potential as a leader. Session number 11, you will learn 5 different ways of how to conduct meetings using an agenda, plus icebreakers, which is really great to shift up your weekly meetings. And part 2, team development and growing your team. Session number 12, inspiring accountability, and then keys to leadership. There is a lot more detail on my platform as well, but I just want to share this course will help you stop doubting your leadership and start owning your role as a confident, strategic team builder. I have trained thousands of people through this program, and I'm going to share a little bit with you shortly. So money aside, I mean, if I could help you grow from a manager into leader, so you can lead your team, achieve a common goal, and increase productivity and profitability without working harder, only smarter. Who would want to work with me? Just let me know in the chat box. If this was free, who would want to work with me? "100% me." Thank you, Tina. I would. All right, it's me. I would. I want to. I'm in. Thank you, Hannes, Dino. Me, yeah. Me. Fabulous. I would love to. Me. Fantastic. I would really appreciate working with you. Most definitely me. Thank you so much. And I'd love to say it's for free, but I've invested hundreds and thousands of hours, blood, sweat, and tears. And all of these I share with you in 12 modules. It's also part of the value I add. And for me, I was sharing a little bit earlier, I never just say to someone, okay, there you are on your own, ciao. How can I help? My goal is to serve. Go and see what other people have said about me. This is them taking the tools, applying it into their lives. But the one thing I'm proud of is I always stay with you to make sure you have it. That simplified tools to make it easier. So some of the beautiful testimonials I've got, but I want to share this just with Nonklankla. Nonklankla contacted me 2 years ago. I'll never forget, September, I was actually in Paternoster, and she contacted me and said, I really want to do your course. She watched my masterclass, and I said, well, are you currently in a leadership position? And she's like, not right now. I'm a paramedic working for government in Durban. But I don't always want to be a paramedic. I want to grow and lead my team. So I asked her if her boss is paying for her, is she paying for her, just to get some feedback. She said, nope, I'm investing in myself. I'm coming to do this. She signed up, and within 4 weeks, she started taking what I was teaching and putting it into action. And I need to share this with you from Nonklankla. I received this 4 weeks ago.
After I did the course, I got promoted from being an operational paramedic who was a shift worker to an acting sub-district manager. Imagine, Nick, sub-district manager. So I'm managing close to 90, if not 90, is 92 staff that I am managing. Yeah, I didn't think that I'll be able to do that, Nick. As you know me, as you know, when I was starting to do the course, I was also like a shy person. I can stand as a sub-district manager. And I'm looking forward to apply for the post when it being advertised. I'm not gonna be an acting SDM for so long. I'll end up being sub district manager because of your course, Nick. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Bye.
Isn't that just adorable? And I want to also share with you Mariska. Mariska did exactly the same as Nonklankla. She wasn't in a leadership role yet, but she was stepping into that role. She also invested in herself. And within a couple of weeks, her bosses actually came and said to her, what's changed? You're different. And she said, well, I've done this, I'm doing this course. And they're like, give us that invoice, we are refunding you. Listen to what Mariska has to say.
Hi, Nikki. I just wanted to let you know how much my life has changed since I joined one of your courses. So, just over a year ago, I took a leap of faith and I joined one of your courses. And it was about a month in, and one of the directors noticed a change in me, and so much that they offered to pay for the rest of my course, which was amazing, such a blessing, something I never saw coming. And then following the course, I just followed your advice, stayed in touch, still seeing you on a regular basis. And now being part of the leadership mindset, it's changed me so much. It has empowered me to work better with my team, to be a better leader. And on top of that, I just got to share this with you. I have just recently got promoted to director, so yay, super excited for the future. And thank you to you.
Absolutely incredible. And she's currently now in my leadership mastermind program. So this is not for everyone. This is for managers who don't, this is not for you if you just want to delegate and walk away. This is for people who want to make a difference in the world, leading their team, leaving a legacy, looking at how you can grow others through you. Leadership is a privilege. To be able to empower and share these tools is so important. So you can continue doing it the way you're doing it at the same time, or you can jump on and take this and do it fast. So the powerful leadership transformation, about PLT 12. And this is also, if you are an action taker, if you're a go-getter, if you're a yes, for the next 24 hours, I have some fabulous bonuses as well. This is something I run every single Tuesday morning. It's 30 minutes and it's for Go-Getters Business Mastermind. In fact, you don't even have to do the course. You can just be a go-getter. But it's something that we do every single Tuesday, 30 minutes, where we hold you accountable to a previous goal. Currently got 34 people in the program. It is incredible. 30 minutes added value, inspiration every single Tuesday morning, and you get 12 weeks included, valued at 1,800 Rand. You also get 3 months access to the Leadership Mastermind. There's 2 sessions per month. That's valued at 1,800 Rand. And that's everyone that's gone through my program or currently going through my program as well, nationally and internationally. So you get to meet like-minded leaders. Bonus number 3, you will get our bi-monthly, I have, so twice a month, Ask Me Anything session. If you have any questions about what you're currently going through, like a coaching session, live coaching with myself. Bonus number 4, you get a bonus customer service session on, and this is on demand, pre-recorded, handling challenging clients and using a 6-step blast formula. And the bonus number 5, you will also learn the art of negotiation communication, which is another bonus on demand session. So the value of all these bonuses, the Go-Getters Business Mastermind, 3 months Leadership Mastermind, the bi-monthly coaching sessions, handling challenging clients, and the art of communication. These bonuses are only valid for free in the next 24 hours. My 12 modules of the Powerful Leadership Transformation course is valued at 15,997. That's bringing the total to 23,788 Rand. So total price with all those bonuses as well, 23,788 Rand. However, next 24 hours includes those bonuses as well, but for everything, all the different bonuses, once off payment, this is a course, it's on demand, you get immediate access to this course. So right now, you can get this course at 9,997 Rand and immediate access to the course. For those of you that were quite interested about the recruiting talent as well, on-demand course, current price, 4,997. I'll share the links with you shortly. But I also have for you this evening a combination deal. So you can either just do the Powerful Leadership Transformation at 997, the recruiting talent at 4,997. But if you want to do the combo of both, which is Powerful Leadership Transformation and the recruiting talent, that is 11,997. So you will save more on top of that. So who am I? I will share those links with you shortly. My name is Nikki Abraham, public speaker strategist, TEDx Cape Town speaker coach, and a leadership extraordinaire. And I am so incredibly privileged that you've been here with me this evening. I am just going to leave this right here. I would love to launch a poll and just get a feel for where you are at, where you are. I'm going to go ahead there and launch the poll. If you could please get me a feel, let me know, where are you at? What are you thinking? Are you thinking, yes, I'm ready to dive straight into the combo deal, or maybe just leadership, or I have a team I'd love to join. Can we discuss that? Absolutely. Or you first want to chat to me, or you've got everything you've needed from this evening. Please go ahead, let me know in the poll. And also, I am opening up for Q&A. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Let me know in the chat box. Are there any questions? I'm just quickly going to drop that and bit.ly PLT. So that is for PLT12. Fabulous. That's that one. I am also going to just drop the link for the combo deal. And please go ahead right now. Sign up. You will get immediate access to the course, all on demand. Do it at your own time, at your own pace. And you can join recruiting. Sorry, not recruiting. I'm busy typing recruiting. You can join the first mastermind this Monday and the Go-Getters on Tuesday. So please let me know, are there any questions? I'm having a look. There's nothing I see coming in the chat box. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Would love to hear from you. Fabulous. I see a few people are saying you first want to chat to Nikki. Please go ahead in the chat box privately, drop your number, or I'm just going to drop my email address there as well. But if you drop your number, I can give you a call we're happy to give you a call this evening or tomorrow. I've got a gap in between sessions and before I fly out. Very happy to give you a call and see how I can help. Please go ahead. Let me know. I would love to know. I see a few people saying yes for the combo. Very excited. Well done. Love, love, love. I'm just checking there. If you can see that, I'm just checking if that's coming on. Fantastic. If there are any questions, I'm going to go back to my slides. Excuse me 1 second. And are there any questions from this evening? Okay, I see someone's coming in for the leadership. Fabulous. Super excited. I know how many people's lives this has changed. And I'm also just going to give you a little hint. If this is something that you really want to do, go and have a chat to your boss. Go and see if they would contribute. I've never asked my boss to pay for everything. But when I've asked them to contribute, to show them that I've got skin in the game, usually they're very happy to do that. Some companies can do it contributing towards tax as well, but they are investing in you as you are investing in yourself to learn. And ultimately, you're going to be investing in their company as well as yourself. So very excited to have a chat with you. Very excited to meet with you. I hope you've all dropped your email addresses in the chat box so I can get your email together straight after the session. I haven't seen any phone numbers coming through, so you're welcome to send me a private email with your phone numbers. Again, the links are in the chat box. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you if you have any questions, please do let me know. And very, very, very excited. I see some of you already in. Fabulous. Looking so forward to working with you and introducing you to the leadership community with the Winning Attitude Skills Training. So again, if you got everything you needed from the masterclass, fabulous. Thank you so much for the messages. Gloria, you've covered key points. Nikki, thank you so much. Catherine, you still want to know what personality you are? I want you to tell me who you think you are. Let me know in the chat box what resonated for you, and I will let you know what resonates for me. All right, it was a lovely, informative session, inspiring. Be in touch. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Lots of messages coming through. Some who want to connect with me. Fabulous. Few people want chats. Excellent. Few people coming in for the combo and the leadership. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you again to everyone. I see no questions coming through. This is your opportunity. So I think I told you, yep, 8:30. I've got 7 minutes to give you. Anybody has a question to ask, go ahead. Don't be shy. You can type it in the chat box or raise your digital hand. I am here. It was informative and helpful. Thank you. Thank you, Hawaii CTRL81. I really hope that I've got your email address there, Hawaii, so I can send you that email as well. So any questions? Thanks, Nikki. See you next month. Fabulous, Vaughan. I'm so excited. Vaughan's joining me for Speak with Impact for Sales. Very excited by that. All right, Catherine, I think I'm direct and influential to my team. Okay. Fabulous. And so you carry quite a lot of the DI personality. Thank you for taking the time to share your knowledge and offerings. Appreciate you. Oh, my pleasure. I appreciate you. And it was so lovely chatting to you earlier, Shamina. I have so much more to share. I mean, I can often train all day. Love it. Love sharing value as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And looking forward to working with you. Much appreciated. Thank you, Catherine. Very insightful, wonderful. Sonia, thank you very much for the information. I'll definitely email you in the future if I have questions. Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. So is the bonuses only valid for 24 hours or can one register later or by month end with the same amount? Ms. Sally, what I'm going to ask you to do, I actually did an offer last week. If you paid 1,000 Rand deposit, you can secure the bonuses. Okay, so, or send me an email Masile, and say, I can only pay at the end of the month. Let me know that you're in, and we can work something out. I like commitments. If you go, yes, I can pay a month in, that's what I can do, I'll do that for you. Because you're here, you showed up, I will do that for you. The bonuses are incredible. You get to work with amazing people. Obviously myself, but you don't just learn from me. We learn with and through each other. That is why I do what I do, because I'm consistently growing and learning. So if there's no questions, all right, quite a few people coming through, still got that poll going. Love it, love it, love it. Still, yeah, if there are any questions, please carry on. If there's anybody that wants to be brave and ask, let me know. Thank you, Tina. Tina, send me your CV. I know quite a few people in recruitment. Send me your CV. I know I read your email today. Thank you so much. Send me your CV. Let me see who I can share it with. I've got quite a large network and maybe I can support. I don't do recruitment myself, but I know a lot of people who are looking. So send me that. Thank you, Nalhakla. Jumping off. Brilliant. Thank you. Appreciate you. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hannes. All right. Fabulous. If there's no questions, I'm then going to save my voice so I can go do some karaoke this weekend. No, I'm only joking. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful rest of your day. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Vaughan, can't wait to start working with you on the 5th of August. And for everyone else, you're welcome to reach out with any questions as well through an email. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here, and good night.